If you could have a set of superpowers based off of an animal, which one would you choose? Full explanation and caveats, as well as our answers on this episode of Hypothetical Questions with the Gray Matters blog. As always, this is my host, Matt Hatter with Save Awesome Studios, and we are going to be discussing the aforementioned question of superpowers based on an animal. Are you ready for superpower discussion, Hatter?
I'm always ready.
So, your full explanation and caveats are as follows. You are going to get a full set of superpowers. Often, whenever we discuss this, we are talking about a single superpower, but that is not the case here. This is going to be a full set. The only real caveat here is it has to be based on an animal. So, we have to pick an animal, and all the powers that you have to be somehow associated with that animal. Now, this can be directly associated with it. For instance, like if it's a bird, you will almost certainly get flight. But it can also be theoretically or mythologically associated with it. So, for instance, if you pick an owl, you may get wisdom or intelligence, much like with Spider-Man, how there was all the different powers, including danger sense, which is more abstractly related to spiders. So it can be something attendant, but doesn't have to be directly a power of the animal. But by some logic, it does have to connect. Now, we're not really so much worrying about power level here. We're not trying to go for the most powerful. We're going for an interesting power set, although pretty much any animal could have varying levels of power. So, Hatter, given all of these qualifications, what animal are you choosing for your superhero power set?
Now, you might have already guessed, but you already know that my patron demon is Rom. So I'm going with crows.
Crows are fantastic, and we will say that you're not just going to get all the powers from the Crow, the Brandon Lee movie, but that's definitely would at least kind of be a place to start with your superhero concept idea.
Oh, yeah. And the powers I would probably associate with, of course, flight. You got to have flight. Flight's cool. Crows are also extremely intelligent, and they have a lot of problem-solving abilities, which, it's a great power to have. They can remember a face for just about ever, so they have extreme pettiness, which, I already have that, but we'll include it anyway. And they're also associated with death, so I feel like I'd have some kind of power. Maybe I could chase off death, maybe death doesn't come near me. But yeah, I would say that would be the trifecta right there. Intelligence, flight, and some kind of power to run off or avoid death.
See, and one thing that I immediately thought of as soon as we were talking about intelligence pertaining to ravens, or excuse me, crows in this case. Crows are an upgrade over ravens because a group of crows is a murder and a group of ravens is an unkindness. So crows must be cooler. They get a whole murder.
Yeah, I think TikTok went back in time and decided to censor that because that's the kind of thing they seem to like to do.
I wouldn't put it past them. They chose to censor that one Victorian guy who is the reason why we have all these weird names for groups of animals. But as soon as you mentioned the intelligence thing, I thought of two things. One is an eidetic memory, literally able to memorize anything you see in front of you. Great superpower. The other one is, have you ever watched the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes movies?
No, but I'm aware of them.
In it, he basically has this power where every time he gets into a fight, it's like time stops and he mentally plans out every attack he's going to do, and then time restarts and he does everything he planned out. I'm picturing a power like that being kind of a part of the intelligence of the Raven. Or, again, Crow.
I'll take that. I like that.
So I think that's an absolutely cool idea. And besides, crows are just cool. Crows are never the wrong animal, in my opinion.
You know what? I'm also going to I'm going to take one more little leap here. Being that they're associated with Rom, well, blackbirds in general, I'm going to say that I have the ability to, I'm trying to think of the right word here. To try and get people on each other's sides or break up alliances. I'm going to include that too because I like that. And this is hypothetical and I can do whatever I want.
I think that's a great idea, and and if you said demonology, I wouldn't be like, it's kind of the intersection of death and the purview of Rom. I would buy a crow demonologist kind of in the, world of Constantine. I'd buy that too. I could see that as a power set.
I like it. When do I get it?
Stay tuned. You and a lot of other people who follow this channel are still waiting for their superpowers.
I'm not saying that if you follow the channel and comment that you will get your superpowers within 7 to 10 business days, but I'm not saying that isn't going to happen. Do you really want to take that risk?
I did have someone in one of our videos make a comment of, because I asked a question about going to prison and, which way would you try to get out of prison, da da da. And dude said, bro still hasn't given me my superpowers and he's sending me to prison. This is bullshit.
Yeah. Well, that should teach you a lesson. I don't know what the lesson is, but it should teach you a lesson.
So I am going with, for my animal tissue superpowers pertaining to, the octopus.
I like octopuses. I like that song by the Beatles. I wanna be under the sea in an octopus's. I don't even like the Beatles. This is gonna be stuck in my head for the next year, and I blame you for it.
It's my fault, and I accept my responsibilities. But I love Octopus for one, again, intelligence. Actually, I would love our characters to be on a crime-fighting team together because both having, big brain intelligence powers. Also feel like regeneration is going to be really huge with an octopus because they can regenerate from a lot of stuff. Also, just general resiliency. You're going to be slammed into the ground and the no bones thing, you're just going to pop right back up. Also, the ability to contort my body into really small spaces. Going to be actually surprisingly strong. I feel like strength and flexibility are going to be big parts of being an octopus. So resilience, strength, flexibility, that kind of thing. I would be incredibly difficult to grapple, kind of the whole rubber arms, a little bit like fighting Mr. Fantastic. And just the fact that by a lot of even like mythology, octopuses are literally aliens. That's actually like a Hawaiian mythology belief that they are from a previous universe. So I feel like overall, that's going to give me all kinds of cool powers. I am very much down for the octopus power set.
Are you saying that octopuses are pattern screamers?
Oh my God, I've never thought of it that way before. You are absolutely right. Octopuses are pattern screamers. And just in case, guys, if you don't know what a pattern screamer is, we also have another channel that he and I do together called Liminal Radio. You can find that in the links in the description. And follow us there. We do, and like the very, very first episode, we talk about pattern screamers and all sorts of analog horror and amazing stuff. So if you don't know what a pattern screamer is, you want to know, links in the description. So that is our choices for the superpower set based on animals. Make sure you let us know in the comments what your choices would be, what powers you would get, and what you would do with them. What style of superhero would you be?
Antihero, of course.
Anti-hero is never the wrong answer, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, guys, as always, make sure that you like, subscribe, hit all the buttons, do all the things. Check the description so that you can follow us everywhere. Also, you will find all the links to follow Hatter over at Save Awesome Studios, also in the description. And as always, thank you for joining us on Hypothetical Questions with The Gray Matters blog.